challenging policy in moving times requires better knowledge of civil society. And this is, I would say, the first building block for the implementation of a policy. Refined understanding, moving into more critical, more strategic partnership with civil society, we need to know more who are these organizations. So what is their constituency? What is their representativeness, their internal governance, their sphere of influence and of action? So who are these new interlocutors with which we want now to engage more and more strategically? So for this reason, we are pushing delegation to go into a new generation of mapping studies. So mapping that are going more into analysis of a context, going more into assessing connection between civil society and other actors, taking into account the accountability system of a country. You cannot impose a mapping to civil society. You need to have them on board to make it participatory and sound. With a more ambitious agenda, mapping are also becoming more ambitious. In order to learn lessons from this capital of experience, we have initiated a review of studies just completed, and I will let the expert who has done this exercise for us to present the main recommendation from these studies that we have extracted together. We would like this recommendation to feed the new wave of exercise that are coming up. We have the impression that delegations are very interested in this exercise. There is a growing demand for guidance and for sharing of experiences, for connection among delegation. We are preparing some updated guidance on this that will be released soon.
The first one would be like, it's not just about the actors. We started looking into the actors, and now we realize that these actors work in a context. Vis-a-vis, they interact with the government, with the donors, with the private sector. So we need to understand those relations and the relationships that they build and the interactions amongst them. And we have to look into the context. What is that environment? Is it enabling or not enabling where the actors are evolving? The second innovation is that you can tailor the mapping. I mean, you can decide what questions you want to ask. So it's, as I was saying before, it's not that they're like ready-made recipes when you do a mapping. It depends on what you want to use that information for, whether it's in the programming like exercise, whether it's when you are setting up a budget support program and you want to know who you want to engage with within civil society, whether you're thinking about setting up a program in support of civil society organizations and so forth. The third would be, it's not just about what you see, what is visible. There is much more to that. And this is something we're seeing in the last couple of years with all that wave of protest and citizens taking the streets and looking for different ways of expressing themselves rather than the traditional channels. So it's about new fluid forms of civic action. Many of them are supported by social media, and those are like ad hoc alliances, you know, like people coming together for one cause or for another. And those actors are becoming more and more relevant. The fourth would be the process matters, and we are realizing that the process of mapping is not just a study that you have, it's the whole process that really matters, and matters as much as the outcome, you know, as what you get out of it. So you have to handle it with care, and you have to engage not just the focal point within the delegation, but the other sectors in the delegation, rather than working in silos. And then the fifth innovation for me, and this is something that has been a collective learning exercise, is that there are new tools and there are new frameworks that are there, much more participatory, that allow us to understand the roles of civil society organizations, the entry points that they have in the public policy cycle, how they work with each other. And it's exciting because it's there and we can build on that.